Okay, so now that I've dealt with that, welcome to my new setup. It's set up. I literally just said this, not even about a half an hour ago during the video you will be seeing next week. So please forgive me for the repetition. But this is my new apartment, Herman, so we've got a new setup. So, now we gotta kick Weevil out of the Battle City tournament. Alright, I'm gonna level with you guys just right now. I hate this two-parter. The Lore Runner has concepts when it comes to the when it comes to his rant lamentations, right? The thing I modeled rant views after. This came damn close to rant view. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that as bluntly as I can. There were a couple of moments where I was raging, and I literally had to take breaks because of just how much these episodes were getting to me. Because these episodes bored the piss out of me. For the record, the following three-parter Mind Control, which I've already seen and done my video on from my perspective, didn't even remotely bug me. No, seriously, it didn't bug me. It was actually perfectly fine. The problem that I've run into with this is the biggest issue I have with this two-parter is both versions suck. Regardless of which version of this show I would if I was depending on which version I would be rewatching, I'd be skipping these two episodes. And I mean just hard skip. Like, no, I refuse to watch these fucking episodes. It's because they're that goddamn boring to me. The biggest crime you can commit, in my opinion, is to be boring. Now, to be honest with you, I do think being bad can be just as bad, depending on how bad you are. But the problem is when you're boring, especially when you give me nothing to talk about, I get angry. Because then you're just wasting my time and I can't handle it. My biggest issue with this two-parter is Weevil. Or Haga, if you prefer. Frankly, call him whatever the fuck you like, because I'll just refer to him as what he is. An evil piece of shit who literally should have his fucking skull bashed in. Now, I know that's horrible, but I mean it sincerely with him, because he will be nothing but absolutely fucking dreadful. Like, god damn it, this is the kind of person who, if in any other setting, would be the kind of fucking threat you would just swat away. Like, I'm sorry, but in like any other franchise, this character would be dead. In any other shonen series, this guy would be dead. He'd be killed off, like right near the beginning, unless he's like, unless he was up against like Goku, and even then, maybe not. Considering this little shit never learns. I hate this guy. I hate you so much, Weevil. So we start with Joey getting tricked and having his dual disc almost stolen. Weevil being really evil after the guy reveals that after it's revealed that the kid's working for him. And then they begin their duel. Now I do like... Right now, I think before I get to the duel, let's talk about the Serenity / Shizuka subplot, because I have literally nothing to say about it, other than oh my fucking god, it's fucking pointless. I mean, it is kind of touching how it's supposed to encourage how it's supposed to encourage the kid Kenta, but I just am utterly bored with that subplot because it is just not very good. It's a waste of time, and if you were to go through the Battle City tournament, I imagine you would probably not even mention the subplot in your recap. I mean, why would you bother, really? Ugh. I will admit the music is pretty good. All right. I think we should talk about but there is two things I should talk about right off the bat. First is the music, and I really like the music in the sub. The music is really starting to lean my preference towards the sub, for the record. It doesn't help this two-parter, but there it is. I think the biggest problem that I've run into with these is how do I phrase this? Well, my note literally says the Janochi is level 2 rant. I fucking hate this plot point. I mentioned it from my perspective earlier today, and from your perspective, I will be mentioning it actually next week, scheduling, that, it's implied, Kaiba, Seto specifically, sorry, I'm forgetting my own terms. It's been a couple of months from my perspective since I've recorded, so please forgive me. This and the next episode have been the first two videos I've recorded in months, so please forgive me. But I hate that this Janochi is a worthless. It is unqualified for Battle City crap. I'm sorry, I'm sick and tired of it. They try to justify it with he's only been to regionals and shit like that. But I'm sorry, Duelist Kingdom not counting for anything is a fucking plot hole. Period. That was the biggest tournament thrown by the biggest name in the card game. Do not tell me that Joey is not fucking qualified when he was the runner-up of Duelist Kingdom. Do not count Duelist Kingdom as a little fucking background thing. As fucking locals. Don't pull that shit on me. Whatever. The dub of Mime Control actually makes it clear that Kaiba should have fixed those results. And again, this whole nobody thing just really pisses me off, especially considering Yugi was a fucking nobody, until Duelist Kingdom. What tournaments was Yugi winning? At this point, we didn't see him compete in any tournaments. None. Oh, but he defeated Kaiba, therefore his rep shot through the roof. Then why didn't Joey? Especially considering that those were officially recorded duels, right? Joey defeating Bandit Keith was an officially recorded duel. Again, you see why this is a plot hole for me. If it was just some random dude, if it was anybody other than the creator of the card game, I would have been like, okay, Duelist Kingdom didn't count. Fine, I get it. But I still have to call bull. Especially considering that it was done by the creator. If it was anybody but Pegasus, I would be like, okay, fine. But it was Pegasus, therefore, plot hole. And no, I am never letting this one fucking fucking plot point go. I will never let that go. Oh, it's pissing me off. Oh, and this is going to get worse in Grand Championship. Trust me on that. Anyways. So then Weevil starts attacking. Joey uses sword and shield as a freaking trap card. Again. Ugh. And then, excuse me, another yawn attack. as you will be hearing me say in the next one. And wouldn't be in one of my videos without a yawn attack, would it? Anyways. He's so the shield and sword, and whoop, I bumped my mic. The shield and sword destroys Flying Kamakiri #1, and this is her first introduction to floaters, I'm pretty sure. Well, okay. The summoning float. Actually, no, it's not, is it? Is it? Because we had Mystic Tomato, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okay, never mind. Well, Flying Kamakiri is the one for wind monsters specifically. So, which is funny because they actually say that in the sub. One moment. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. Well, that's so I'm probably gonna have to be wearing my mask tomorrow, or I'll at work. Great. Anyways, well, I'll probably do it anyway, just for posterity's sake. Anyways, so yeah. Then Kisatai, he latches itself onto Jinzo, a flip effect monster that it becomes an equip card that will raise life points. Then in Skullmark Ladybug is introduced, which, I honestly always miss. And then the Cocoon of Evolution combo returns. And then this is where we find out that Weevil cheated by sneaking a card into Joey's deck. Heck. The thing is that Weevil is obviously cheating here because he literally planted a card in Joey's deck that would benefit him. Also, Hondo, why the fuck did you think Jinochi put that Parasite in his deck on purpose? I'm just wondering why the hell you have to drink so much goddamn paint thinner. You had to drink so much goddamn paint thinner this episode. Regardless. Insect Barrier shows up, and then the perfectly ultimate Great Moth starts attacking Joey. So then there's Pinch Hopper and Erratic. So then we get to that. Joey manages to defeat Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth with Skull Dice and Graceful Dice on Parasite no less, which is actually a nice touch. I like it. As I spill a container onto my floor. Oops. Anyways, so Joey uses Graceful Dice and Skull Dice to get rid of Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, and then a combo of Pinch Hopper, Eradicating Aerosol, and Insect Queen. And he shows up. Insect Queen powers up and starts devastating Joey's field, and then Magical Arm Shield manages to save Joey from losing, which is nice. And this is when the friendship speeches are kicked into high gear, and I'm just sitting here like, oh my fucking god, can you go away? And I forgot to make a note, which I am correcting right here down in the sub. because I need to talk about Gearfried. Anyways, so Joey Simmons. So Joey manages to grave rob and get rid of the Insect Queen, and use Gearfried the Iron Knight to attack because. Because apparently Gearfried is immune to equip cards, and Parasite acts. The infestation acts like an equip card. I'm not even gonna begin to get. I'm not even gonna get into how many ways that doesn't make sense. All I'm gonna say is that episode, is it a monster or is it a continuous spell card? Pick one. But Gearfried is another one of Joey's iconic monsters, and it's actually one of his better ones in my opinion. Personally, I would have loved to have seen the one that he pulls out in season 3 a bit more often, but there you go. So Joey wins, he eliminates Weevil from the tournament, and my patience with this episode is at its end. And yes, I know I was barreling through that, but this is why. I can't stand this episode. I can't. These episodes, I can't. They're boring, they're pathetic, and it's just is continuing the streak of Joey's only fighting cheaters. I'm actually kind of sick of that. Because if you think about it, it actually undermines Joey's talent when you do it like that. Because he's not winning on his own power, he's winning because karma is biting his opponents in the ass. And I don't like that. But I never have to talk about this episode again. So, from your perspective, I'll see you next week for Mind Control. And from my perspective, I'm going to go take another lozenge. Ugh, message for my throat. Blue Wolf Alex of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. Duel stand by.